So here's my new to me 2013 Ultra Classic CVO, which I just bought last week. Just did a little test drive. So far I haven't done much with it. She's a nice bike. I mean, needs a little repair here and there. I got a cracked fairing. Alright, wait a minute. That is not today's video. That's for future, and we're coming back down to earth to look at a Honda 150 Elite scooter, as seen in the Terminator movie, where Linda Hamilton rides to work on one of these. And it's got the 80s pop-up headlights that everybody loves. So I'm going to get into a video here about this unit that I found and was given to me actually, and let's go through it and see if we can get it to work. Interesting little machine here. It's got 21,000 miles on it. Hard to believe. Look at all the gauges. You don't even have this on some of the new cars. Temp, fuel, digital display, turn signals, trip meter. High and low beams, turn signal, horn, typical motorcycle stuff. Start, on off switch. Pretty neat. I mean, I would never thought this had 21,000 miles on it. Not in a million years would I have thought that. So after peeling away the engine cover, I don't know, this must be the air cleaner. Got a nice little plastic housing. Boy, these Hondas, back in the day, man, the detail they put into these cheap little rides, it's crazy. So after opening up, I took the battery cover off, and there is no battery. It is empty. So either that's because somebody needed the battery for something else, or they just gave up on this thing running. I don't know which. So on this side we got the drive, and we got, looks like, the fuel pump and the fuel filter. Everything is like black. I don't know if that's from exhaust soot or what. It was dirty. I was trying to figure out if this was a 2-stroke or 4-stroke. Well, then I saw the cover here, so it's got a dipstick. So I'm assuming this is a 4-stroke. Let's see what the oil situation is here. I don't know if there's anything in there. I mean, I know this isn't straight. Let's straighten the bike up a little bit here. Oh, there it is. There's fluid. Stick my finger in there. Alright, it's a little bit dirty. Not too bad. Alright, let's see what kind of gas we got in here. Just ran a hose with a squeeze bulb. This tank's pretty full, I guess. It's not the worst I've seen, but Actually, it ain't that bad. Doesn't have quite the stench I would expect. Maybe we'll just try to kick it over. I don't have the right... This has a special side mount battery. These terminals are... I'll just use jumper cables, I guess. It's pretty neat how everything works off the same key. They got a lock on this storage thing. There's a lock on here for the seat. Which I left in there. I got a lock here. Storage, little storage compartment. Basically, it's room for a wallet. That's about it. And you got your ignition key here. The only thing I haven't figured out is how to open this. Well, as you can hear, the rain is really coming down. So I put some jumper cables on the terminals here. See what happens. There went the headlight. Gosh, that's cool. Flip up headlights. Alright, something's wrong. It won't cancel. It won't cancel the headlight. Oh. Those are running lights, okay. So these are running lights. They're always on unless you use the turn signals. And the switch is a little bogus. The headlight switch is a little bogus. Turn signal switch, I mean. There's some kind of problem there. I'm not sure. Let's see if the back one works. Yep, there it is. Now the right one. Gosh, everything works on here. You got your license light. Brake light. Let's see if the brake light works. There's no hand brake. There's only a foot brake, so. Okay, that works. High beam, low beam. Gosh, everything works on here. Well, I guess we'll see if it starts. Horn works. Jeez. Awesome. Okay, she doesn't... That's the only problem. I hit the starter and... nothing. Oh, you gotta have your foot on the brake. Gosh. Alright. Miles per hour, fuel, engine oil. Okay, she might need a little vapor in the intake. All right, so I gotta take the cover off Got the old 10 millimeter. Everything's always pretty much 10 millimeter. Oh, we got the spark plug wire snapped under there. Might be another bolt in there. Another bolt right there holding this cover. And okay, being Japanese, there's going to be a third one. I don't know where. Gosh, what overkill. What the heck's holding us on here? Ow. How clever as they are, there's just a little bolt in the end here, so you can open that up. Maybe I'll just shoot it right into one of these holes here. Otherwise I gotta disconnect this clamp and all that jazz. So see if that does anything. Oh yeah. Yeah. Look at that. No crap. Just like that, she fires up. No throttle. Throttle won't turn. That's weird. Why doesn't the throttle move? Okay, that's... unless it's some kind of safety thing. Huh. Throttle does not move. Alright, so I took the screw and the one on this side. Kind of gotta pry up a little bit just to get the front edge of this out. Oh, what do we got here? We got another something going on here. Oh, shoot. Tell me this was like a quick access for the carburetor. Or is this a fuse panel? Oh, it's a quick access. Gosh, didn't even have to take this off. I'll get my light. See something. Okay, this is the cable right in front here. I believe that's where the cable goes in. She don't do nothing. Nothing. I wonder if it's rusted. Is that all that's wrong with this thing? It's just rusty? Yeah, this thing curves down. Must come up under the body. Maybe it's rusted underneath. Where's the cable? Sheesh. I'm assuming it's probably inside this cable here. I heard something fall. Remember what I said before about half an hour looking for a screw? Well, the screw from this clamp fell out. It went down there, so now I pried this out of the air cleaner housing here so I could have a little more space to get in there. I don't know why it's so hard to get this stuff out. Durr. Okay. Stupidity alert. Alright, she's still not coming out. More fiddling. Alright, so now I got a little bit more room. I see the starter down there. Looks like right down in the hole here. There's the starter. No sign of that screw anywhere. Just seeing there was another port. That goes in there. Didn't even notice that was on there too yet. Oh, there's an actual air filter. Paper element air filter in there. Very cool. So I put a wrench on this here, which is the butterfly, and it goes really hard. Even with slack in the cable, this thing won't move. So the bracket took a little work, but I got these two screws loose. Then I can remove the cable, and I'm going to probably have to remove the whole carburetor. I don't know why this camera keeps shutting off, but I put channel locks on here. This is not working. This is the butterfly is stuck. So I'm going to take off this cable so I can take the carburetor out. I got this bracket here with two screws. Somebody's had this off already because they were a little bit stripped. So we're going to take that out of the way, pull the whole cable off, pray that I don't lose more screws here. Okay, so I just disconnected the cable here, pull that off. Now let's see if the oh man, this thing still doesn't turn. What? So we got two problems. We got a problem that this doesn't want to turn, meaning the cable is foobarred. And yet, when we try to turn this by hand, if I can get in there with a light, yet I can't get the carburetor linkage to move. Gosh, that's a problem. Alright, so there's another clamp right back here. I gotta loosen that one screw. There's a rubber boot that holds the carburetor onto the motor, and then I should be able to pull it out. This time I'm not going to take it all the way off or I'll lose that screw. I got a little carried away on the other side. Okay. Now I know there's a bunch of tubes. Stuff that's still stuck on there. It turns anyway. There's a lot of hoses going in there. I'm gonna have to remove some of them. Alright, you dumb light, come on, cooperate. I have to get this clamp off right here. And we get a flat screwdriver. I don't even know if you can see it. I can barely see it. Crap, the screwdriver's too short. Oh, it's loose anyway. I don't even know if it's doing anything. Come on, carburetor. I gotta loosen it more, I guess. Oh gosh. Alright, I'm gonna have to put the camera down and use two hands again. Okay, I finally wiggled the carburetor free. I had the fuel hose was on there. This was a vacuum hose I just pulled off. Now I'm working on this lower one here. Just gotta get that. I got the clamp loose, I just gotta get the rest of it off. Okay, got that. Oh, let's see if underneath here, missing. Okay, look. Let's look here. Gosh, okay, that's not that. Gosh, it's on there. Gosh, oh gosh. Oh, I have the string hose here too, whatever. We'll bother about that. Sheesh. Okay, well, you get the idea, I have to hold it. Okay, I finally pulled it out. I see all kinds of green junk. I just realized that's antifreeze. And then I saw green drops all over the hoses down there. I'm like, this is a water-cooled motor. Gosh, a water-cooled 125. And I guess this is like the thermostat housing or whatever. Right there. So those little tiny, they're not vacuum lines, they're actually coolant lines to heat up the carburetor. Gosh, how freaking over-engineered is this thing? That's absolutely nuts. So it makes me wonder, where's the coolant reservoir? That's the other question. I don't even know how to check the coolant. I don't know where you would even find the coolant tank. And if that's the coolant tank, where's the freaking radiator? I guess there's a radiator in here? Oh, I tell you. Complicated little piece of machinery here. But anyways, I got all this off. So then I noticed this is like, I don't know, looks like a spark plug boot. There's some kind of electrical doohickey on here. I gotta figure out what that is. There was a wire or something on here that broke off. Not sure what the heck that's all about. Alright, so it's a good thing I took the carburetor apart because this was so stuck, it would have been stuck and wide open or wherever you did manage to get it. Little carburetor cleaner, like on the pin, going through this shaft that goes through. Now she's like good as new. It's really clean in here. I think it was only the fact that coolant was leaking out of these ports or something, and it dripped on there and it just corroded over the years. Because I was wondering, like, what's all the green crap? Well, apparently it's got a heated carburetor. It's either just a temp sensor or this is actually maybe a thermostat. Looks like it has some kind of spring-loaded doohickey in there that opens the flow of fluid to the carburetor. There was a wire on the end, which I don't even see any traces of it, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I have to put this back in to plug the hole. So this is basically a temp sensor and a combination temp sensor thermostat. I guess it has a gauge on the dash that tells you if it's cold or overheating or what, I don't know, but so that's that one. Okay, so I cleaned up inside here, and I realized there's a little groove in this rubber stopper here that didn't have any O-ring because it fit really loose in the housing. So I found an O-ring to fit on here. Now it goes in nice and snug. Even though the electrical connection is shot, at least it's sealed, so I shouldn't have any more issues. Okay, so we got the hoses back in. The two that are together are the coolant lines. And then you got this one that's not hooked up in the front. That's the fuel, which I'm right here, which I'm not going to do just yet. Sorry about the lighting, it really sucks. Okay, then this one here comes off the rubber boot, goes into the back of the carburetor. And of course this clear one coming off the bottom of the bowl is just a drain hose. When you open the drain port on the bottom of the carburetor, that's just a way for that to get out. And I think that's about it for that. I just found these two wires which went to the temperature sensor for the I can't even find it. It's all the way in the back top of the carburetor. That electrical thermostat sensor, combination thermostat slash temp sensor. Alright, I got the fuel line back on, all the hoses on. Apparently these two wires cannot be put together, they start smoking, so it's just a temp sensor or some kind of, I don't know what the heck, but we don't want those touching. So you step on the brake, turn the key, lights are on. She runs. I've flipped the throttle by hand now. As long as I don't go too far, it's going to drive away on me. There she goes, she's trying to drive. Okay, carburetor's good. Now I just got to figure out why this stupid throttle is stuck. I don't know, knowing how over-engineered, this is worse than a BMW, really. They might have had some kind of safety thing built in here, I don't know. Like the engine has to heat up to a certain temperature before you can actually drive, or I don't know. So it's slightly more taken apart than last time. The throttle cable here is not... There's apparently a kink or a rust spot right somewhere around here, because when you twist it and you hold it, it flexes. Like this part from here to here, you can see it flexing. This part from here to here, nothing. So I can order a cable, but the problem is it all goes right into this whole assembly. So I put some of this blaster lubricant, WD-40, tried to get it down this little tiny orifice here, hoping if I elevate this, eventually the oil is going to get down the bottom, so I don't have to take this apart, because unfortunately there's two Phillips screws under here, and I stripped them both, and I tried to make a slot on this one with a grinder so I could use a flat bladed screwdriver. That didn't work. They're really crappy screws. I don't know what the deal is. So they're just not coming loose. And apparently the whole assembly's inside there, and I might just, as this thing's already cracked anyway, I might just take this off, get a whole new kit that goes over the handlebar, but it's going to stick out a little bit more. Other than that, I don't want to mess with it too much. Getting this cable out was kind of a pain. You have to raise the floorboards and undo a couple of these clips and then just drag it all the way out. It's pretty well fastened in there. And it's not rusty or anything. I don't even understand how water could have got in there. Don't know why it's jammed, but it is. So I'll give this a day or so to soak. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to cut it off and order another one, I guess. So here's my new cable. Came as a kit, some new hand grips, and this handlebar clamp for the new throttle. So I cut the cable underneath the old one, unscrewed it, because it's all part of this housing. I got to get rid of this system. I'm just going to add one next to it on the outside. So at this point, I'm just going to take a hacksaw blade and I'm going to cut this broken plastic, which is like, it's already cracked. I'm going to cut this all around with a fine blade, or you could use a sharp knife, and I got a feeling it's just going to break right off. So I'm going to work around that. And the old cable, well, the old cable, I had to cut it to separate it, but it's like very corroded. I thought it was just one spot, but mainly it was up here. I put all kinds of lubricant and that thing is jammed. So that was garbage. But this will take care of it. So you can see the quality of these Chinese aftermarket things are not the same. I mean, they got this cheesy rubber. It's nothing compared to the rubber on there. And there's no protection sleeve here like they have on the old one. I would have, you know, like here, there's a spot where it goes through the chassis where it would have rubbed. And they got nothing like that on there. But hey, you know, when you're working with a freebie and you get cheap like me, then you just do whatever. At least the cable works. I might put a little lubricant down the hole before I fasten it. This is the upper end, actually. So let's put this on. Try to get this through the bracket here. Which end is which now? Do we want it on this way or do we want it this way? We can always spin it around later. Who cares? We'll do it later. For now, we just put it on there. Okay. Now feed this down through. Okay, so it came down through there. I was able to grab it with a wire and a needle nose plier. And then it goes inside this hooky thing here. We just got to get the excess. This cable's actually a little extra long. They don't make, at least on eBay or Amazon, they don't have anything less than 78 inches. So anyways, we'll stick that in there. Now comes the tougher part. We got to feed it through this shield. I might have to take this off, I guess. I don't know. We got to feed it in through there somehow. This big
elbow makes it tough. And then it goes back up through and comes out here right to the carburetor. Okay, this we just have to yeah, get the camera angle right here. Oh, that fits real good. You can't even get the cable in. Okay. Wrap that around. The proper direction would be to this way. Hopefully that's the only way it goes. So it's goof proof, I hope. Ah, so it does go from this side. I guess. Gosh. I don't understand. This does not... Oh yeah, okay. I don't understand. I am small. In the brain. Okay. Then I put the cover back. Start those screws. Just gonna check the coolant. I got my battery today and I'm gonna get this thing fired up, but the coolant tank I believe is under this side. Hello, sorry about that. And there's like a knurled screw knob thingy right there. There's one on each side. Okay, I finally got the brake loose. I was afraid it would crack the plastic or something. Alright, so let's pull this front off. I hope that's all there is involved. Oh, great, the headlight's connected to it. Hey, don't do that. There's the bottle for the coolant, I believe, from what I could see online, and we are pretty low. Upper level is right there. Gosh, what the heck? How am I supposed to look inside there? There's a little bit of coolant still in there. Alright. So I got my YB9. It's the closest thing I could find. I didn't really have accurate information on the size of the battery, but going by the dimensions, and the terminals are positives on the correct side. You don't need this overflow. This should fit perfect. As long as it's not too tall so that the cover will fit on, I think we'll be okay. It's a little tight. I don't know if it's supposed to be that tight. Okay, she's in there. So we just gotta put the screws, which I dumped on the ground. Screws and nuts on there. And we're good to go. Turn the ignition on and nothing. And I know it was working before. By the way, this thing has 21,748 miles. That's insane. I mean, alright, I checked the battery. It's got 12.8 volts, so it ain't the battery. Then I was jiggling around here and I just noticed this plug came loose. It came apart. I don't know why. I never actually did anything with it. But okay, so that's good. So let's see what happens here. Run. Oh, I gotta turn that back on. Okay, I gotta put my foot on the brake, I guess. Give her a little gas. Huh. I know the carburetor is empty because I worked on it. Almost. Well, battery doesn't seem to have a lot of power for some stupid reason. Gosh. Okay, keep going. There's not much gas in here. This gas is really old, but I think it's pre-ethanol, so it's still actually better than if I put new stuff in it, because I'm afraid the ethanol will, 2005 it was inspected last. I'm afraid the ethanol gas will like ruin the fuel lines. Okay, here she is, purring like a kitten. I think the red paint has faded to orange, but not bad. Seat needs a little work. Alright, let's take her for a spin. Big truck coming. She just stalled out on me now. Huh. Okay. Not sure what happened. That's weird. So as you can see, she's running pretty nicely, and she can do about over 55 miles an hour anyway, as far as I'm aware. I haven't gone downhill. Might get an extra 5 miles an hour, but I got to get some fresh fuel for the tank because non-ethanol is what was in there, and that's the only reason it actually still ran. I believe the carburetor survived all those years because it was the old gas that didn't have ethanol, and I plan on just using that in the future to prevent the fuel lines from getting all gummy and causing other problems. But that's it for this video, and if you see one of these old scooters, they're a lot better than you might think, and they've proven to stand the test of time. Adios, everyone.